Welcome. In this section, we'll be creating our first CDS view. This is very basic CDS view which we will be creating to give you an idea how it works. We'll go into more complex CDS views in future lectures. So let's get started. This is my HANA Studio. Let me start it again for you. So I will start the HANA Studio from here. This is my HANA Studio, and this is a default workspace which you get. You can change it if you want, but you can keep default as default. Now here there's my HANA Studio, and here what I can do is I can use and log in into existing project, or I can create new one, not a problem. So I can go and new. In your live project, maybe you will have only one project which is created by your basis guy, but here you can create. So we are creating a ABAP project. So you just type ABAP here and say ABAP project. This is my S4 HANA system. I will say next, and I will say next, and I can put my client as 800 and my password. So here this new project has been created and I can use it. And whenever I'm done with my work, I can just simply log off or close the project basically. That's log off. So here we have local object. So what we'll be doing is we will be creating a CDS view in local object. For that, you just have to right click and say new. And here you have a lot of options, and I don't see CDS option, so I will go into other ABAP repository objects, and here it's loading, and here I can just type core data services if you want full thing, and you will get all the things which are available here. So we'll be creating a data definition here in CDS view. So I will say this, select this and go next. Here I can give any name, so I will say z underscore first. Okay, this is my first CDS view, so that's why. Ideally, you should give a business specific name, but here as we are just testing it out, so we'll be using this. First CDS view, z underscore first. This is my package, $temp. I go next. And here, ideally, you will get an option of choosing a request, but I have selected temporary folder package, so that's why I don't have to. I can go next. So here you get a lot of predefined templates in CDS view. So here you can see you can select this. You will get bunch of line of code directly available. You can select any of these like this. As per your need, you should choose. If you are going for join, use this. If you are going for association, you can use this. Right now we'll be creating a basic view, so we'll say define view, or you can just unselect it and you can write everything on your own. That's your choice. But if something is available as a standard, why not use it? So I will select this define view and say finish. Okay, now we have our template available here. We have bunch of code available to us. You can see this is all written with @ and then we have a define view. So I can see my CDS view here. I can go to my local object and this here, this core data services CDS, and these are the ones I created or someone else created in my name. And here you can see z underscore first, and below this we don't have anything else because we haven't activated it yet. For example, if you see any of this CDS, you will have two objects. This is my CDS view and this is my SQL view which is getting created at the backend. So coming back to this, here we have bunch of code available here. You can see with the @. Any code which starts with @ in CDS is annotation. It's called annotation. What annotation is, you are attaching a lot of metadata to your CDS view. That is called as annotation, and it starts with @. So what you do is you create a CDS view. You want to add a lot of properties, a lot of metadata, so it can be used in multiple places, or you can define where it should be used. In a sense, if I want to create a CDS view and want to use it in a Fiori app, then there is separate annotation for that. If I want to use it as a BW extractor, then there is a separate annotation for that. So CDS view is plain vanilla, and you add properties or attach properties to it, so it understands, system understands what are the properties attached to it and how it should be consumed further. So let's see one by one. So ABAP catalog.sql view is the SQL view you have to create. You have to give a name here. So I can say first SQL. So it can't be same as z underscore first. It has to be different. And here the limit is 16 length. So you can't go beyond that. Otherwise you will get a error like this if you go beyond 16. So this will be my SQL view. We'll see how it looks once we activate this. So z first underscore SQL is my first SQL view name. This is mandatory. You have to write it. Otherwise your CDS view won't work. Next is abap catalog dot compiler dot compare filter. True. So this is something to do with your compiler, how the join should function when CDS view gets compiled. So it is for that. It's more on a database side. So we did not go into the detail, but this is optional one. This is not mandatory one like SQL view. So you can ignore this, or you can just keep the default, or I can just comment it by putting 2 slashes. So it is commented like that. You can do. Next is abap catalog preserve key. True. Now this is again a optional one. You need not use it. You can again comment this. But preserve key, what it means is it will preserve the key of original table when you create a view. We'll see in the example how it works. And there are two options, true or false. For example, you can go here and write F and say control space and other option will come. Or you can just say control space and true or false will come. So time being it's true. Access control authorization check. It is again optional. It is not mandatory. So authorization check is it checks for the access of user who's accessing this particular CDS view. If he or she doesn't have the access, he or she won't be able to access this CDS view. So it is check. You can just check the option. Check, not allowed, not required, privileged only. So here it will be checking, and you can see the documentation as well attached to it. End user dot label first view. This is your name to particular CDS view we gave while defining the CDS view, first CDS view name, right? So this was all about annotation. You can enter a lot of other annotations here like this. You can say analytics, for example, and I can choose this, and then there will be more option. Just put a dot and control space, or directly it comes. You can say data extraction and then put a dot and then choose whatever you want to choose, for example. So what happens with annotations is there are like thousands of annotations which are available. You can define your own annotations as well to use, but basically what you will be using as a developer is maybe 50 to 100 annotations at the max. So you will get an idea of those as you work on them. So it is as simple as that. You won't know all the annotations which are available. I will leave a link in the resource section where you can check out all the list of annotation, the help documentation basically you can check out. But as you go along, as you learn new annotations, you will be getting hang of it and you will understand how it works. Next, this is again line which came by default, define view. We are defining a CDS view. The name is z underscore first as select from. So I need to give some kind of source, right? And in SAP, normally source is the table. So I can say VBAP, this is my table, right? And now I have to put fields from VBAP to define this view, right? So I can say control space and it gives me option of insert all the elements. All the fields which are available in VBAP will get inserted here, or I can select one by one, or I can just simply type like this, control space, and you will get the options here. And one by one you can add it. So what I will be doing is I will say insert all the elements. And you see there are so many of them. All the fields from VBAP has come here, right? This is too much. Normally you won't be using the whole thing, but you get an idea that you can get. If you don't want something, you can delete, no problem there. So here what we have done is define view z underscore first as select from VBAP. And you can do a lot of joining, association, all those things we'll see later, but this is our first basic CDS view. So I am using the simplest one. So VBAP is here, and in VBAP you have two keys basically, VBLN and Posner. So document and the item, let me log in and see. You can log in from here as well. So let me try that first. I can go from here and say this and say SE11 VMap and display. It comes with this view. This is how it is available in the new system. So if you want to see as a old one, there are some configuration, but I'm not going into that. You can just go here and put a password, and you can have a look how you used to have in the old times. This is the old SAP GUI, and here you can see VBLN and Posner are coming as a key. Mandate is by default taken, so it's not coming there. You get sales doc and the item here. So this is the table which we are fetching here in this CDS view, right? So here we got the CDS view available. Everything is fine. All the fields are coming. What I can say is check the syntax, and I check the syntax. Everything is fine. No error came. Contains no error. So I can activate this. Now it is getting activated. Here you can see, and this is activated now. Now here, let me refresh this first. Now here you see we have that CDS view and we have the SQL view also created. So I can double click on this. It will take me to that view. So here you can see we have this view. You can see it is built on VBAP, and these are the fields. You can see the keys as well here, and everything is available which we have defined. So this is my CDS database view which we have defined here. You can see C first SQL, and here there is my CDS view. You can see data definition Z underscore first, right? And this data definition name and this is CDS view name. Normally both are same. In some cases you can change it, I think, but this is not recommended. You should keep both of them as same. So here what SAP is doing is it's creating a backend object which is called Z first underscore SQL, which you can see here. So this is the structure which SAP uses to communicate a lot of things at the backend. We are not supposed to use it most of the times. And CDS view is a virtual entity. It's totally created only on this space. You won't see it anywhere else. So we have a physical holding of this view. You can see, you can go here and the same structure you can see here because we have created the view. So this is the same thing. We have two keys, sales document and sales item, and this is my SQL view which is created, right? So here you see VBLN has name as VBLN. So what I can do is I can rename it. For example, I can make it as sales doc, and what we'll do is we'll preview the data. So I can see right click and open with data preview. So it will fetch me all the data from VBAP, and you can see the column name is sales doc, and this is the whole data from VBAP. You can put a filter on anything. For example, here I can say quick filter on ST. This is my filter on ST. I can see the data. This is how it looks. I can remove it. I can also check distinct values, for example. So I can say distinct values for this column. It shows me that 59% are EA and rest is ST. So these small things you can do. You can check the number of entries in the whole table. You can select a column, or you can do and go to SQL console and see the select query as well. This is the select query, and you can change and preview the data as you want. So we won't be going there right now. So here you get all these options, and there are a lot of options like this. You can say open with and say activation graph. So here we only have one view data definition, so that's why it's coming like this. We'll see it further in complex CDS view how it comes. What option you have is you can also do open with dictionary log. So it will give me all the details of the dictionary log, how it got compiled and everything. It will show it here. You can also do active annotation. You can go here and see all the annotations which are attached to it. These ones and the more you will see. It will take some time because there are a lot of fields available. So here you can see we have this entity annotation, a BAP catalog. Under that we have SQL view. Under that we also have a compiler, so it is coming under that, and we have all the default checks which are available. Now we have renamed sales doc, and what is the end user text? It is sales document, which is coming from the table, and a lot of things are available here. You can see all the internal as well as external annotations are coming here, and you can do more. I can go here and say open with annotation propagation. Let's see how it looks. So here you can see all the top ones. Top annotations are available here, which we have defined or came from the template. Now let's go here and see. I can also open with dependency analyzer. If there are any dependencies, it will show. We only have one table, so it is showing like this. And you can also see the SQL create statement, which is running at the back end. There's my SQL statement create or replace view. So it will either create a new one or replace the view if it is already available. And these are my fields, and it is coming from VBAP. This is a typical SQL statement gets created at the backend. Now here we can check the preserve key option. So if I make it as a true and I say even meta is my key, for example, right? Along with sales document item, material is also my key. It doesn't make sense, but just to make you aware. So what I will do is I will say activate. It's activating and it is activated. Let me go here and see. Earlier we had two keys. Let's see if we got the third one. So we got the third one, right? We have the key now available. Now what if I do it as a false, right? And I say okay. Now it is getting activated. It is activated, and let's go back and see how it looks. So here that matter key is not getting recognized. So what we did was we made it as false. So now whatever you define doesn't matter. It has to come from the VBAP table. So that's how you use preserve key. So if you make it true, you can edit it here. You can define your own key basically. For example, I can say I don't want this as a key. I don't want this as a key, and say okay. This is activating. Now let's see. So here you will see only sales doc is key now. Right, you understood how it works? This is true. So if you make it true, you can define your own key as you want. And here you can see you are getting a warning which says key definition Z first and VBAP are different. Partner is missing in the key. It is warning. Still you can work around with this, but obviously it's not recommended not having key here. So I will just put it here. Now here we have to understand few things, a few features which are available. So I already showed you, you can comment like this, or you can comment like slash star, and again you can put it as like star slash, and it will be done for multiple lines. So this is how you do it. Now here in this you can write any comment you want. So you can write like sales document info, like this you can do. And you can also comment a line if you want, like this. I will just show you. For writing a comment alongside code, you should use this, and if you just want to comment something, you can also use this, like this. So this is also commented. So these are the options available for comment. You should also remember that there are some limitations which you have to follow while writing a CDS view. All the ASCII characters are allowed, so you can use most of the things on your keyboard. But you have to remember that you can't mix up things. Like example, all the keywords like define, key, you can't have something in capital and some parts in lowercase and some parts in uppercase. Like this, you can't. You can have all the things in upper, for example, like this, or you can have all things in lower, like this. But you can't have mix of both, or you can have like this as well. First one as cap and then lower, but you can't have like this. If you do like this, you will get an error here, right? So that you have to take care. So this is one option which you have to keep in mind. Same thing here as well. I mean, you can't do like this, for example. It is a problem, but you can still do like this. You can have first letter as caps and it works, simply works. So this keyword limitation you have to keep in mind. Literals, you have to make sure while defining literals like constant. For example, if I write like 1 2 3 as column 23, for example, and I say comma, so this is okay. I can activate this, and when I preview this, it will simply work. It will have column 1 2 3 with the constant. But what you can't do is you can't write like point 1 2 3. If you want to write like this, you have to write like 0 1.23 and it will work. So you can't have half of the data, you have to have the full thing. Basically, just keep that in your mind. And you can also write like this, right? You have to have quotes if you are doing for the characters. This is activated. Let's see the preview. So this is available. So you have to put quotes there. That is one thing. Comments we already saw. And you can have semicolon or you may not have it. Here you can put a semicolon or you don't put. It's optional. But if you prefer that way, you can put like that. And there are some protected words which you should not be using. So that's about it. These are the syntax options which you have or restriction which you have. You should keep those in mind. And some limitation in terms of name of the data definition, you can't have more than 30 and it should be unique throughout the namespace and always uppercase. This is always uppercase. CDS view again has a 30 character length and it is again unique to the system, and normally it is same as this one, the data definition itself. And SQL view name you can't have more than 16, so you have to keep that in mind, and it has to be unique. And it is not case sensitive because by default it will convert to uppercase. That's the property we have in SE11. Whatever you put there, it becomes uppercase by default. For example, I will show you. Even if I put like this, it comes to caps by default. That's how it changes. So these are the some limitations which we have. So you should keep that in mind while working with CDS views, and you will get a hang of it. Once we go further, we'll create more CDS views, and then you will understand how other features works as well. So we'll see you in next section. Thank you.